Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you. Today, I want to take a look at a pair of kicks that really surprised me. I hadn't seen anything about these. I hadn't heard anything about these. But whenever I was picking up my pair of the Laney 14s, I actually saw these hanging on the wall at my local Finish Line, and I knew right away that it was a pair that I needed to pick up. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Rainbow Trout Dunk Lows. So due to the fact that I am slightly obsessed with shoes, maybe not slightly, I'm pretty into shoes. Obviously, I follow what's dropping and that sort of thing. It's rare that I go into a store and I see something and I don't already know what it is. Whenever I went to Finish Line this last week, I really had one of those what are those moments. Like, I knew it was a pair of Dunks. It wasn't just like when you see a GR pair of Dunks and you can tell all this is the exact same thing, just different colors. These really look unique and had a different vibe than any of the Dunks that I have in my collection right now. The box is pretty plain, just your standard Nike box. The tag reads Nike Dunk Low Retro SE2. And I don't know that I've ever seen that before. SE2. I don't know what that's all about, but anyhow. The colors are Sequoia and Alabaster. I go with my true to size for Dunk Lows, which is a size 10. These retailed for $110 US, but I used status rewards and bought these along with the Laney 14. So I can just say that I got $10 off each pair or something. I probably could have done it in separate purchases and used a separate coupon on both, but I just rang them all up together. I always like getting shoes from Finish Line because I like using status rewards to get money off of them. The box is very plain, nothing out of the ordinary, but our paper is like this blue, it looks like a swimming pool or something, and it says Nike on it real faint. But I thought that was pretty cool. And then nobody cares about that box or that paper, but check these out. I think these are so cool. Whenever I saw these on the wall, like I said, I thought for sure it was a collab. I knew that it wasn't just a standard GR Dunk. I don't know how high numbers are of these. I have seen them on Hibbett. I think just today these dropped on the Finish Line website, but I would assume that there's pretty high numbers of these. But that being said, I think these are dope. I think these are so cool. I really wasn't expecting to see it, and at first I had no idea what the inspiration or the theme of these was, but then I quickly noticed that on the tongue it's got that fish up there on the tag. The swoosh at the end of it, it's got like that barb that fishing hooks have so the fish can't get off. And when I took a closer look, it looks like there's fish scales on the swoosh, and it's in a cool iridescent finish, and I really think that's a nice touch. I didn't know that they were calling these the Rainbow Trout Dunk Lows until they actually dropped on Finish Line's website, and I saw that's what Finish Line described them as, the Dunk Low Rainbow Trout. Since I moved to West Virginia, I haven't done much trout fishing. There's all kinds of streams in this area that feed into the Potomac, and over in Maryland, I knew where they'd stock like all the rainbow trout and everything, and I love doing trout fishing. So I like these a whole lot before I even knew that they were the Dunk Low Rainbow Trout, but now that I know that, I like them even more. As you can see, they've got these spots all over them, and that's similar to what you'd see on trout. They've got just really neat, bright colors, and that iridescent effect on the swoosh is really, really cool. And then I was also thinking too, before I realized it was a rainbow trout theme, I thought that the outsole would have been cool if it had some color on it. But whenever I got to thinking about rainbow trout, the bottom of them is a really light color. So it makes sense that that's what you see on the bottom, because the belly of trout is pretty much like that. Aside from all those cool design features, the materials on these are really, really decent. All this suede for the overlays, it feels really good. You get nice back and forth motion on it. And even these smaller areas with the orange and then the pink furry suede there in the back, it's all just a really, really nice material. The base of the shoe and the tongue is all a ripstop material, and I think that'll be nice for the summertime, because I think these will be cooler than dunks that are all synthetic leather or something. I just think this ripstop will be lighter, and it'll probably breathe a little bit better than what that synthetic leather would. But getting into the review, like I said, we've got this light colored outsole, and I think that represents the belly of the trout. But we've got a pivot point in the front, Nike branding there at the midfoot, very similar to a Jordan 1 tread pattern, but it's all just this light cream or off-white color. And then you can see that color continues for our midsole, and that's all just that cream color, but I like the contrast of the orange stitching that we see there in the midsole. I think that's pretty neat looking. But then coming up from that midsole, you can see that we've got this dark colored suede. This isn't a really hairy suede, but it's nice and soft, and you really get a lot of life out of it whenever you change direction. Sometimes that's hard to capture on camera, but if you can't see it, then just take my word for it. It's a really, really nice material. It looks like all the stitching on this dark suede matches, and somebody in the store said that they looked like it was green suede. I don't really see the green too much. I guess it does look like maybe like a dark moss color or something like that. I think it looks like more of like a charcoal color, but either way, I really like that material. And I think on top of this ripstop with that neat spotted pattern on there, I think it looks really, really cool. Very unique. On the toe box and the side panels, you can see that ripstop that has all those spots on it, and I really like that effect. I don't have any other dunks that look like that. They reminded me of the, I think they were called the Stingwater dunk lows, but those were all red and white, but just seeing all those little spots all over it, it reminded me of those Stingwater dunks. But up around the collar, we've just got a plain charcoal gray ripstop material. For the tongue, we have more of a ripstop material, but this is in a safety orange color, and that almost reminds me of like the life vest that you wear if you're in a boat or something like that. So maybe that's where they got that. I'm not really sure where they got the bright orange inspiration from, but I think it's dope looking. And again, that's not your standard nylon, that's more of a ripstop material, so you see all those little squares on it. I pointed out those really unique swooshes, and on the outside it has the barbs on there like a fishing hook has, but the swoosh on the inside of the shoe is just your standard shape. And then I briefly mentioned before, we've got this cool pink color. It's almost like a raspberry ice cream color or something, but I really like that color. And then just above that, for the Nike heel tab, we've got this orange hairy suede, and again, both of those materials feel very, very nice. Like it's a really good quality. They gave us some flat black laces in this pair. I think that this is a pair that they could have given us multiple colors and you could have messed around with it a good bit. I think a color to match the midsole and the outsole would be good. I also think if you could find a real pale pink or even like orange or something, I think this would be a pair that would be fun to mess around with the laces in, just to see what you like the best. The black looks good, but I think because these shoes are a little bit crazy, you could mess around with it a good bit, and you know, you could really change up the look of them even more. It looks like we have a black sock liner, which I'm a big fan of because it won't show up stains and that sort of thing. And then down on the insole, that's more of this pink color that we have on the back of the shoe, but again, it's got that little trout down on there. And just like on the tag, it says Nike Beaverton. and then 1972. These things are really, really unique. They got a lot of personality, and I like the theme of them. I think these would be great for summertime. I don't know if these are like really highly sought after or anything, but I know as soon as I saw them, I was really impressed by the materials, and too, I just like this design. I know they're a little bit crazy. Let me know if you would wear these or if they're a little too busy for you. Either way, I don't mind. I think they're really, really cool, and I think I'm probably going to rock these a good bit this summer. Be sure to let me know what you think about these down in the comments, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out.